Activision is 100% scared of XDefiant. Call of Duty is in big trouble. A revolution has begun. Things just got worse for Activision and Call of Duty. If you aren't fired up yet, this will 100% get you fired up if you are all in on the boycott on Activision and Call of Duty. This is amazing news for the Call of Duty community. Here's what you need to know if you are a dissatisfied Call of Duty fan and what XDefiant means for the future of COD, if it does have a future. Share this to spread the word of XDefiant and to open the eyes of everyone on this ongoing Activision boycott. It's time for the Call of Duty community to unite. The revolution has just begun, boys. What's going on, my fellow gaming warriors? Says the one. Call of Duty blocked an XDefiant news account on Twitter recently, not even the official XDefiant account. And the reason why they got blocked will make you shake your head in disgust. The XDefiant news account says they got blocked by Call of Duty for saying, "Who's leaving COD for XDefiant?" Imagine being that petty to the point where you block an account that ain't even the real XDefiant account, but even the mention of the game offends you. Talk about insecure. This proves that Activision feels threatened by XDefiant, and they are scared of how many Call of Duty players will be leaving. The worst part is, it wasn't even a serious tweet, it was a joke. Why can't Call of Duty take a joke? Man, that is such a bad luck to be that petty. They don't even want any criticism of Call of Duty on their feed. They just can't handle it, and it's embarrassing. What's even better is that they're getting tons of Call of rumors and leave the kids alone comments, yet they ain't blocking those accounts. Guess there's too many to block because every single one of their recent tweets has gotten hammered and ratioed by the Call of Duty community, calling them out after the Nick Merckx cancellation backlash and all that fallout. Total mess, total disaster. Activision has been trying everything in their power to censor these comments. On Twitch, for example, silencing you from making any comment on the serious matter. I've also seen plenty of your comments getting blocked by them on various social media platforms for making the comment as well. What a total disaster. In fact, Activision is so petty and insecure that they created their own new Call of Duty Twitter account because their most loyal shill influencers, or former shill, or they're trying to win back their approval, but their former shill influencers couldn't help but take a steaming dump on Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 this past year, like Charlie Intel. Charlie Intel informed the entire COD community that Activision revoked his privilege of being invited to recent Call of Duty events. Why Activision? Because he was rightfully so giving constructive criticism of your garbage scam games? Pathetic. Want to see something really suspicious? Call of Duty randomly announced, out of the blue, that a free trial will be starting in Modern Warfare 2 on June 22nd. It just so happened to fall right within the same time frame as the XDefiant open beta, which lasted from June 21st to the 23rd. It's obvious Activision's fear and insecurity of XDefiant were a result of that free trial. So there's something crucial to point out here. XDefiant is releasing at the perfect time. Call of Duty has never been in a worse state. Modern Warfare 2 2022 was the final straw for much of the Call of Duty community. It's sad to say that it took this long, but it was the final straw. Multiplayer has been totally ignored by Infinity Ward, Infinity Turd, Infinity Psych Ward, as they have shown no desire to listen to our requests, despite Activision bragging about the
3,000 devs! 3,000!
It's infuriating knowing that Call of Duty developers quite literally couldn't care less about us, their loyal consumers. It's arguably Call of Duty's biggest problem right now is the lack of communication from the developers to the COD community. However, XDefiant is attacking this weakness in Call of Duty. Mark Rubin, the executive producer at Ubisoft, the team who is developing XDefiant, has exposed Activision's lack of transparency within the Call of Duty community. Rubin has been attacking Call of Duty by communicating with their player base more than Call of Duty has in the past 10 years. Sad to say, but it's true. And Rubin knows this, which is why he's using this tactic against Activision to seriously compete with Call of Duty. He even alluded to the CoD Killer nickname that many Call of Duty fans are deeming XDefiant as. He says, XDefiant is a love letter to the arcade arena shooter. Is it a CoD Killer? I have no idea. We're just trying to make a game that people can love for a long time. But it is up to all of you, the players, to make XDefiant a success. Rubin has been extremely active with the community, and it has impressed me, it really has, as well as everyone else. If you can't appreciate what the XDefiant team has going on here, then there's something seriously wrong with you. Fun fact, and this may give you chills, Mark Rubin is the dude on the cover of the iconic OG Modern Warfare 2. I just learned this past week and thought it was really cool and interesting to share. Like, the stars are aligning for him to be the chosen one who would finally save the Call of Duty community from crooked Activision's horrible games. It's pretty sad that we have to praise the bare minimum nowadays, but can we please just appreciate the fact that Mark Rubin and the whole team working on XDefiant genuinely cares about making the game better? And can we appreciate that they listen to our feedback and are publicly taking our suggestions into account? Check this out, this is pretty cool. Under Nero Cinema's recent video, a fan recommended an interesting idea regarding kill streaks, and Rubin actually responded to it on Twitter and agreed that it was a good idea. It's just really weird nowadays to see lead developers communicating with the player base. XDefiant is putting Activision and Infinity Ward to shame for this. Another tactic XDefiant is using to attack Call of Duty is the no-skill based matchmaking factor. SBMM has been a problem, if not the biggest problem, in Call of Duty for a long time now. I'd argue it's the real Call of Duty killer, but it has especially ramped up after the release of Modern Warfare 2019 and Warzone. And obviously this year, SBMM has been absolutely brutal in Modern Warfare 2, the worst that has ever been. The Call of Duty community, including myself, has been extremely vocal and outspoken against SBMM, yet it seems to fall on Activision's deaf ears. The only Call of Duty players who are fans of SBMM are the paste-eating mouth breathers who don't know their elbow from their ass. It's very tiring to be repeatedly punished for being good at the game and not being able to improve or progress, not being able to tell. So, XDefiant is exposing this flaw in Call of Duty by showing how gaming used to be without a strict SBMM system. It really is refreshing. Now, for the big question, is XDefiant truly the CoD killer? The truth is, it's a bit complicated. Let me explain. The truth is, no game can truly kill Call of Duty as a whole. Only Call of Duty themselves can do that. And one way, for certain, Activision has killed Call of Duty is with skill-based matchmaking. However, this does not mean XDefiant does not pose a legitimate threat to Call of Duty. If XDefiant did not pose a threat to Call of Duty, then why would Activision go out of their way to block an XDefiant News Twitter account for a comment that wasn't offensive by any means, and why would they launch a free trial the same exact time XDefiant had their open beta? Activision clearly is scared of XDefiant, and they should be worried. Therefore, it is 100% safe to say that XDefiant will be stealing a huge chunk of the player base from Call of Duty away. It will play a role in the killing of Call of Duty. Now, the follow-up question to that would be, well, for how long, Juan? Will XDefiant live up to the hype, or will it just be another Splitgate, a game to be forgotten? And to that I'd say, we have to wait and see. But one thing I do know is XDefiant has massive potential. We know Ubisoft will listen to us, the player base, since they have proven that throughout the course of the early development stages of this game, and it has been impressive. It's one of XDefiant's main selling points, because other AAA gaming studios like in Call of Duty couldn't care less about what we think. But the XDefiant team does care what we give for feedback, and that is going to play a big role in beating out Call of Duty. XDefiant has a great foundation to be working with. The most important part of an FPS game is the maps. Maps are what make and what made Call of Duty successful back in the glory days between 2007 to 2012. After that, maps got worse, and coincidentally, the franchise went down the tubes. Coincidence? I think not. But seriously, the maps in XDefiant are absolutely solid and provide a fast-paced arcade-style game, which is exactly how the core and die-hard Call of Duty community likes it. Modern Warfare 2 2022 feels like you're a sumo wrestler attempting to run around in a battlefield map. It's too slow. The game is freaking boring. And that's why we call it Modern Warfare, Modern Snorfare. Infinity Psych Ward doesn't have a clue. And again, it's also refreshing to know that Mark Rubin and the team firmly believe SBMM has no place in FPS gaming, and I appreciate that so much. If XDefiant continues to build on progression, which Rubin did mention that there would be a classic prestige system, like old school Call of Duty, and add things in to the game to keep the player base engaged like streaks or camos, continue to advance the fun gameplay, and add balance and variety to the weapons, then XDefiant will 100% be a success, and it will play a major role in the death of Call of Duty. So, this is why Activision is scared. The sky is the limit with XDefiant, and they know it. Hell, they're probably baking brownies in their pants saying, oh no man, we actually have to put in work now? We need to put in effort? It's a clown show. We may not know exactly how XDefiant will turn out, but we do know one thing. The truth always wins in the end, and Activision are the biggest lying scumbags in the AAA gaming industry. You do the math there. Comment what you guys think. Do you think XDefiant is a Call of Duty killer? Do you think it'll disappoint and turn out to be another Splitgate? Or are you more on my side in the sense that XDefiant will not be the CoD killer, but it will help in the decline of Call of Duty as a threatening competitor? Please hit that like button, share this video, because I think it's very important for the Call of Duty community to understand how important XDefiant is in terms of its competition with CoD and the boycott against Call of Duty. This will take a lot of players away from Call of Duty. Activision will be losing out on a lot of money. Subscribe if you're new to this channel to become an elite gaming warrior like the WIN. When you do subscribe, you will gain the ability to see through Activision's lies. And it's free, like XDefiant, unlike Call of Duty. Thank y'all for the support, I really do appreciate it. And one more thing, I need you to understand this though. I am exceptional. 'Tis been one.